Yo, what is going on, guys? Episode 59 of many. Thank you guys for tuning in. I've kind of got an interesting special episode here. I wanted to take some time with just me and you guys, or me and you, to dive in to some of the things that I learned and took away from the conferences I was at most recently. If this is your first time tuning in and you haven't listened to the past couple episodes, I was actually gone for, 9 or 10 days. Back to back, I flew out to Nashville for a fitness style conference. Learned from a bunch of fitness individuals. We'll dive into that, and then I also immediately flew. Once that one was done, I flew out to Orlando on that Sunday, and then I was actually out at the Vault conference in Orlando with Patrick Bet-David, and learned from just general business leaders and some really cool stuff there. So I am not going to dive into So I'll back up. When I was in Orlando, we had this entire, if you guys are watching, I don't know if you can see it in the camera here, but I've got an entire, what they call the playbook, right? Basically a workbook of all the things that we reviewed. So I'm only diving into like the first chapter or so of this to kind of give you guys some good takeaways and some things to think about. Interesting enough, the first chapter is mainly on vision and goal setting, and that is something that I talk a lot about here and things that I think are very important for us. So I've got a list of notes here on my notebook in front of me, so I'm just going to kind of dive in, talk about those. Before I get started, for those of you, again, if this is your first time listening, go back and listen to episodes 1 through 4. Those will give you a very good, I don't know about very good, because I feel like I've gotten better at speaking as these episodes have gone on, but episodes 1 through 4 were my first 4 episodes, of course, and they dive into the history, how I started when I was 18, how we got to where we are now, and then there's also a couple interviews that happened. Me and my buddy Kyle, he is my right-hand man. He works with me and helps run our companies. We did another episode with Gavino. We did another episode with Nolan. So those are kind of scattered out throughout there. There'll be more to come with some of our other day ones and people who have been around here. And tune into those episodes as well, just to kind of get an understanding of like their point of view, how our company came about. It's really been a journey, so tune into those. If you guys want to add me on anything personally, so I don't forget at the end of this episode, my Snapchat is colton.burt, COLTON.BURT. Instagram, Facebook, coltonburt19. For those of you who have been listening, I'm trying to do better on posting to Instagram and Facebook. Social media is not my forte, or whatever my excuse may be. I do post quite a bit on Snapchat of behind the scenes stuff. I use Snapchat for most of my communications. I feel like I've grown up with Snapchat as kind of like my texting platform, but it's easy to follow along, see what I'm doing. I post a lot about, consistency and the daily habits that I've instilled in my life to make sure that I'm becoming the best version of myself. So anyways, without further ado, we're going to touch a little bit on the Nashville Summit and what that was all about, so you guys can understand why I was gone and what I was doing. And then I'll touch very briefly on this Orlando Summit and just kind of see where we go. So first off, I would like to say, no matter what industry you are in or what your hobby is, I strongly recommend investing in yourself. And I say that all the time. The best, I think I said on my Snapchat the other day, the most important project you'll ever work on in your lifetime is yourself. You are always a presentation. You are always presenting to everybody else. You are always on display. So I know a lot of people have the mentality of, I don't care what other people think about me. That is a great mentality to have as well, because it's your life and you should do what you want to do. Just realize first impressions do matter. The way you carry yourself, the way you walk. Are you, staring at the ground? Are you not making eye contact? Is your chest up? Are your shoulders rounded? Are you, these little things are important in ways of communication and coming off as a certain kind of individual, right? And then, so I want you to think about investing in yourself, whether that's books, whether that's health and fitness. You should always be improving, right? And that's something that I always preach. That's what the Grizzly Life podcast is about, becoming the best version of yourself. So if you, no matter what industry you are in or what hobby is yours, I recommend, if you can, find a conference or a group of like-minded individuals to grow with, to understand, to learn from, to bounce ideas off of. Maybe you want to start a business someday, and your business is going to be in, I don't know why, but I feel like I use like the example of like, flowers or fishing or something, right? It might be difficult to find entrepreneurs in those areas. So even if you find individuals who have started a business before, there's a lot to learn from those types of people. So just because if you have a very niche hobby or thing that you want to get really good at, doesn't mean you have to necessarily find the person who's already done that, which obviously is a very good thing to do as well. But there's definitely things you can pick up from general business and people who have built businesses, managed and led people. There's a lot of skills there. So keep that in mind. But if you can find a specific conference for your hobby, for your area, whether it's marketing, maybe it's AI now, maybe it's like video editing, photo stuff, fitness for us, whatever it is, manufacturing, find a conference so you can get with people who know what you're talking about. For example, our Priority Fitness team is a fitness equipment install and service company. It's very hard to have conversations with normal, humans essentially, because to us, it's an art on how to move gym equipment. It is something that is, you can't just do it. I mean, you can use brute strength, but we've gotten so good at it over the years that it's more of an art to us. We know how to move the gym equipment and we do it very well. Same thing with fixing gym equipment. It's like if you talk to that guy who's really good at fixing vehicles and he's trying to explain to you everything that he did, and you're just like, it's way over your head. You have no idea what they're talking about. That's basically us in the fitness industry, right? So when we rebuild gym equipment, when we install gym equipment, when we extract or resell, when we can have the opportunity for Priority Fitness to be with another company like us, we've got a buddy out in Iowa who does what we do. Or if we go out and get certified for, say, me and Kyle went out to Washington, out to Seattle several years ago to get certified. That was a very cool opportunity and a very cool experience because we were with like-minded individuals who could have the same conversations as us and understood the things we were going through. So oftentimes in life, you're going through several other things that nobody else has ever done or even understands what you're doing. So your own challenges in your own fields, even in the health and fitness area, your general friend or person around you might not be interested in fitness and health. So just keep that in mind. If you can get with people who are like-minded, I think it's very powerful. I think it's very stress relieving. You get to let out some stuff that other people understand and you can hear their stories and relate to them. So I think there's a power in that. So I just wanted to lay that groundwork for you guys. So my Nashville summit, so our Nashville summit. What it is, there's 200 or so gym owners, I want to say, or maybe 150, 200 gym owners that got together, and basically a bunch of different speakers come on stage and, talk about their thing. Now, what's really cool about this one is it's not every single person who comes on stage is involved in the gym industry somehow, some way. They don't necessarily need to be a gym owner. Maybe they're a really good personal trainer and now they've started their own business helping personal trainers be better at that or something, right? So when we go to this conference, we go out a day early, so that way there's a networking event the night before. We get dinner with some of the gym owners that we know because we met some last year. And what's really cool is there's also all these vendors. So if you've never, and I'm breaking down what these look like for the people who've never been to something like this or an event like this. Because when I go there, I'm always not nervous, but if you don't know what you're getting into, it's just not knowing what you're getting into. It's weird sometimes. So these events have all of these vendors typically, and these vendors at this specific event are usually pretty plug and play, right? They can be utilized in our gym tomorrow. They can help us make more money. They can help us save money. They can help us save time, right? So there's usually these vendors, whether it's a gym equipment vendor, maybe it's InBody, the people who do the scales that we've got in our gyms. Sometimes there's better platforms out there that we can maybe use for our 24/7 system. Just little things like that, right? So there's always a vendor area during the entire conference, typically. So you can go and meet these vendors. Usually you get some kind of deal, 10% off if you sign up today, 50% off first year free. And so and these vendors are typically sometimes sponsors of the events too, typically, right? So they're putting on something, maybe they're doing a giveaway for the event. So anyways, so you've got your vendors and then you've got the event. The event in this case was Thursday evening, which we didn't really attend because the Thursday evening one is kind of the same each year for this specific summit. So it's very valuable, especially if you've never been there before. We just went for the first half and then we ended up going out for dinner because I eat dinner earlier than the typical human. So I always try to eat dinner between 4 and 5. So we dipped out of there. We grabbed some dinner and just kind of relaxed in Nashville. So the next day, so then this is pretty jam-packed Friday and Saturday. It goes from, I want to say we started at like 8:30 and typically went until like 4-ish, 5-ish. So there's usually speakers up there for an hour or two a piece, and I'm just going to kind of briefly touch on, the different things. So this was a fitness conference, right? But we learned about taxes. So we had a tax specialist up there that could give us some tips and tricks in understanding our books better. So as gym owners, it's good to understand taxes. It's good to understand taxes no matter who you are, but write off opportunities in that. We had an individual up there that owned 4 gyms that his specialty was building a community, building a brand, building a really good community-oriented gym business. So he had an hour-long talk. It was very great. He talked a lot about little things that he does inside his gym to make people more feel like the gym is a true community, feel like they truly belong. So that was kind of his angle. We had a lady who specialized in HR come up there, and she was a past-time gym owner. Now she helps gym owners, and she specializes in HR, so hiring and firing. She really likes like the hiring for EQ over IQ, so it's not all about accolades. It's not all about experience and degrees. You really want to hire the individual for the individual. Their attitude and their timeliness and like these other factors, not just how smart they are and the proof of how smart they are. So yeah, she comes up there, talks about HR for about an hour, which is always a good thing to just kind of go over and just pick out one little thing here and there that we could be doing better. They had an AI specialist come up there. So something that's newer, something that a lot of us aren't utilizing to the best, which I'll touch on a little bit here. They had an AI specialist come up there and talk. That was really cool. We had a guy come up there that was specifically talking about stretching therapy that you can include a stretching therapy that you include in your gym business that allows you to make additional money off of adding this service, which is super cool. There's a nutrition specialist. So again, how can you sell nutrition in your gym and make it another service you can offer? Then there was a hormone replacement guy. So these 3 speakers, the stretching, nutrition, and hormones, they were all about 30, 35, 40 minutes, back to back to back. And they were all basically like plug and play. So you could buy into the nutrition or the stretching or the hormones or all 3 or whatever you wanted to do. And they're basically like bolt-ons for your gyms. So the hormones is all about helping individuals get like hormone replacement therapy and making sure that they're, to their best ability. They're functioning to their best ability. So he takes care of all of that. We can implement it into our gyms. That's actually something we might be looking into because that's kind of a big thing right now as well. There's a guy that came on at the end by the name of Donald Miller. He is an author. He was the big speaker. He came on to talk to us for, I think, 2 hours about building a brand. It was a super, super awesome conversation with him, or, a super good. He didn't even really do a slideshow, really. I think he did, but like he was just the things that he talked about, and it really just simplifies things. So anyways, we'll get into this. So I've just got some notes. I'm going to go over them and see where they take me. So the community style guy was, one of his things was finding ways to get your individuals or your gym members to identify with your brand. So this is like the I am statement. So, and so I'm going to kind of take a twist on this for you guys, for individuals. I think it is important to, when you go to the gym, for the people who are scared to go to the gym, I guess this is the direction I'm going to go. It's not easy feeling welcomed sometimes. It's not, you're nervous, you don't have any friends, you haven't met anybody. And obviously our goal as the gym owners, as the gym operators, we want you to feel extremely welcomed. We want you to feel open and comfortable. So what he's saying is, find ways to identify yourself with the brands. And that might be, I'm not saying buy a t-shirt. I'm not saying connect with us that way. But from his point of view, he's saying give your gym members a reason to be like, I am a Grizzly, right? I am a Grizzly Fitness member. I am a part of the Grizzly team. I am part of the Grizzly life. How do you get your community like rallied up behind that? Which is just kind of an interesting way to think, is how do you get people to eventually take that leap and it becomes kind of like your second home, right? So similar to your family, your home, your job. Your job is often like your second home, but I think the gym is also much more of a second home where people really spend a lot of time and get to meet new people. So for us, finding ways to make sure that our gym members can be a part of our community, right? So this gives us, let me see what I hear. Joy. So another thing he said was, and I want to take this from like your guys' perspective. Find things you can enjoy outside the gym that relate back to the gym. And so what he was saying was do promote 5Ks, do promote, these other events around town and, get your gym members to be a part of it. And the way I'm taking this too is for us as individuals that go to the gym, we need a why. We need a reason to train. We need to, and I've talked about this in the past, when you're training for the football season, for your volleyball team, for your baseball team, for wrestling, whatever it is, you have a why, you have a reason to be the best. Once you get past that stage of life, it's harder to wake up in the morning and go to the gym and sweat and hurt and be sore, right? Like these things are common. It's not fun for most people. And if you don't have a true reason to train, it's hard to go to the gym. So this is why I'm so big on goal setting. Whether it's losing weight, whether it's walking a mile, running a 5K, running a marathon someday, it's good to have a far out vision and a far out goal so you can have something to accomplish. So if you as an individual can enjoy things outside the gym, but the gym helps you enjoy those things, AKA I really like to go hiking and I want to be better at it and I want to be less out of breath, so I need to go to the gym and work out more. Great. Like find ways to relate the two and build a better bond between the two. Because you love kayaking so much, because you love swimming so much, there's benefits to fitness and training and being stronger, longer, living happier, right? Like, so if you can find ways, if our gym's not providing these ways, is what I'm saying, find ways that like you enjoy life. Again, those outdoor activities, playing with your kids, bar league, softball, I don't care what it is, relate that back to the gym, and then you've kind of got a why, right? So just kind of something that I just kind of took the twist on here as I was writing notes. So I was listening to a podcast, this is another interesting one, and it was also from my notes in Nashville, Donald Miller, the final speaker, and the podcast I just listened to. The saying is basically sell the vision or the intent, not the activity. And so this is good from the gym aspect. And so like for our marketing purposes, for like the way that, and I want you guys to understand this too, because the way that most businesses advertise, a car dealership, they want to sell you a car. They don't want to sell you, the reason you need the car. They want to sell you the car, right? So, and I'm saying not every car dealership, but like a gym's typical advertising is, come on down and buy a gym membership. We're open 24/7. We're here for you. It's easy, come on down. We're trying to sell gym memberships, right? And so if we sell the vision and not the gym membership, if we sell, the body fat loss, the transformation that you're going to go through, the real underlying reason you want the gym membership, that the marketing will be much better and much stronger behind that. So just kind of an interesting idea. Sell the vision / intent, not the activity. Don't sell gym memberships, sell the lifestyle, sell the fat loss, sell the living longer, sell the living happier, sell the, being able to play with your kids longer, right? So again, these are notes that are for our inside business, but I want you guys to understand kind of like what our takeaways are from this stuff and how these events shape us. So moving on. AI agents. So when the AI lady came on, she was basically mind-blowing almost all of us the entire time because there's just so many AI tools out there other than ChatGPT, other than Grok. And whether you love it or hate it, AI is here. It's not going anywhere. I think the best path for everybody is just to understand it. Depending on where you're at in life and what you want to do, you don't need to be a master at AI, but understanding what it can do is probably valuable in some sense. So something that was really cool, I'm not going to go through all 30 different tools that she taught us because there's a lot, but one really cool thing was AI agents. And this is a newer feature for ChatGPT essentially, but what you can do is you can create AI agents, and these AI agents you can turn into a team for you. So this lady who's doing her AI talk, she puts up a photo on the screen, her presentation, and there was like 12 people up there. 3 of them were circled in green, and the other, 8, 9 or whatever it was gray. And then she's giving her a little talk about how good her marketing team is and all this stuff. And she's like, if you look at the screen, this is my marketing team. We're like, oh, wow, it's a pretty big marketing team, right? You can see like the email marketer, the press release person, the newsletter, all these parts of her marketing team. She goes, all of the people in green are real people. The other 8 or 9, whatever it was, are AI bots, AI agents. But the way she programmed it, they all work together. So when she's ready to roll out something new for her team or for her marketing play, she has a AI agent that writes her email for her. Now, most people, when you think of ChatGPT or that stuff, they write very like ChatGPT, way more educated than us, very straightforward, very boring, hard to read. You can prompt these tools to sound exactly like you do. They can talk the way you do. They can mimic your voice. I mean, you can even upload pictures and videos of you talking to some of these tools, and you can have an AI video of you talking. So it really is crazy. So with like the ChatGPT stuff, these AI agents, you can teach these things how you write, how you speak, and your results will sound like you talking, like you speaking. So and I'm just sharing this because it's more mind-blowing than anything. I don't dive into AI a whole lot. I'm not much of that tech guy, but we are trying to understand AI. We're trying to adapt with the times. There's a lot of business ahead of life. There's a lot of business coming for us as far as the future and things that we want to do. So if everybody else is going to utilize AI, unfortunately, we're going to have to figure out how we can utilize it within reason, right? So by no means do we want to not have a front desk person and we're going to have a kiosk talking to you. No. But figuring out how maybe AI can help us save time is always a valuable thing. So I'm sure we could talk about AI and the future for an entire episode, but I'm just going to kind of leave that there. So one of the things, and so these are just a couple highlights. I'm probably going to dive a little bit deeper into my notes from Nashville. If I have some more things to share with you guys from just Nashville, I will. But those were like 3 or 4 takeaways about Nashville that I just wanted to share with you guys that I thought were cool. Understand a little bit more about our business, how we go to these conferences and things we like to take away. When I went to this conference last year, everything was amazing. Everything, like I'm writing down left and right. This year, now that we've implemented a lot of things we learned last year and we've changed and adapted, this year was more about pulling out individual, we call them nuggets. One little thing we can take away from each speaker and implement in our business. So I do have a lot of notes on my HR gal that spoke. I actually have a call with the tax lady, but I don't need to bore you guys with tax information. So I do have more notes and more things that I took away, but these were just a couple things. Again, I wanted to explain to you guys, why was Colton gone? Why was he at Nashville? Why, what was the goal of this? A lot of the stuff too, so being there, one of the biggest benefits to these conferences is the networking aspect, meeting other gym owners, meeting other business owners, meeting other trainers, understanding what they're doing in their business that works, right? So the first night, the night that I didn't even really go, so Thursday, I had a conversation with a guy out of Chicago, and within 5 minutes, I had 2 new things that we want to implement back here with our personal training aspect and things we want to clean up. So it's just like those little connections, the people you didn't know or didn't know you needed to know, that makes and breaks you. That changes, the trajectory or the direction you're going. So anyways, moving on from Nashville, I've got a couple things to talk about on the Orlando trip, and then I'm going to let you guys go because I don't have a ton of time. So last episode that Kyle and I just spoke on, at the end of it, I talked about the shoshin mentality, if I'm saying that right. I'm going to switch over to my other notebook. Well, I'm just going to read this word for word so you guys can see what it means. So the shoshin is a word from Zen Buddhism meaning beginner's mind. It refers to having an attitude of openness, eagerness, and lack of preconceptions when studying a subject, even when studying at an advanced level. So I talked about this last episode. I talked about how when I was 18, 19, 20, it was the beginning. Everything was new. Everything was fresh. I was learning everything. And I have obviously gone into a much more sponge mode as of recent. The last year and a half, I read all the time. I'm listening to as much content as I can that's educational and bettering me, which has allowed me to speak better, which has allowed me to think more clearly, become a better leader, right? Like I'm actively working on all these things all the time. So the shoshin mentality, I feel like the beginner's mind is just so important for everyday life. Uh, Not being arrogant, like not being so arrogant that you just feel that you're better, that you don't need to listen to this individual. I mean, like bumping into somebody at the grocery store, for example, or the gas station or whatever. I think you need to have an open mind that you can learn anything from anybody. And all of these conversations are important. So Jeff Bezos always says, have the day one, every day is day one at Amazon. So the day one mentality, I think that's kind of the same thing as today's a new day. Let's wake up and do what we got to do. But also it's day one. We've got a lot of growth to go from here, and it's looking forward to the future. So keeping that beginner's mind, willing to understand, willing to learn from anybody and everybody. I think the book I was just reading too is kind of saying like never be the smartest person in the room, and even if you are, don't let anybody know that. Again, you should just be soaking up stuff. You should be understanding. You should be learning, and keep that day one mentality, that beginner's mind, and everything that you do. So that was really good. That was how the Vault conference started off in Orlando. So I was like, oh wow, like that was pretty strong. And when I was younger, like I said, every idea was possible. Everything was we could do anything we set our mind to, and we could figure anything out. Nowadays, it's like we've got a business, we're doing things, and sometimes when you're in the day-to-day grind, you start overlooking things, or you don't even look at things long enough to really like think about them, right? So I just think as you get older, things are shrinking a little bit. You're not thinking as much about some of these things that you could be, and especially with age, most people stop reading after school, right? You only read when you were supposed to. A lot of people that I talk to, oh wow, I haven't read a book since middle school or high school. So, and most of those people use Cliff Notes to get through school anyways. So I'm guilty. I didn't like to read books in school or middle school, books that I was told I had to read in class. I mean, most of those books were rather boring. So, or at least I was too immature to realize what they were really good for. So, shoshin mentality. Do some research on that. Learn about it. Let's go on to the next one. So I do have a couple things that he also talked about. The next 5 moves is one of Pat Bet-David's things. He actually likes to say the next 15 moves, but the next 5 moves, basically what this is saying is what are the next 5 things that you're going to do to accomplish, what are the next 5 moves in your life that you need to do? So always thinking ahead. He likes to think more of like a chess match or a chess game, a chess match. Thinking about the best, chess players in the world, right? The grandmasters. They can think ahead and they can understand what every move you might do and how that'll affect their moves, right? And like, so this is like his example, and this is why his mentality is this way. But he's always thinking 5 moves, 10 moves ahead. What do I need to do? What do I do if this happens? What do I do if that happens? And not having the what if, the scared mentality of this or that or plan Bs, but understanding how you're going to navigate the future, understand how you're going to, what your next 5 moves are. So obviously he was taking this to a business perspective. What are our next 5 moves? What issues do we have currently in business? Pick one issue, and then what are the next 5 moves to, accomplish that and move on from it, right? So always thinking ahead is important. Not making decisions on the fly. Make sure you think about it. I always explain to you guys logic over emotion. Don't make an emotional decision. Make sure you've thought about it. Make sure you've slept on the issue. There's some issues that are more urgent. There are some issues that you can take some time on, but regardless, ask for opinions. Make sure you've thought about it. Collect your thoughts. Think about the repercussions of the decision you do make, right? So again, thinking of your next 5 moves in business and in life. Maybe you want to take a health and fitness approach to this. Hey, I want, I'm starting here and I want to get to there. What are the next 5 moves I can do to get to that spot, right? Whether that's run a 5K, and I know I use the same examples over and over, but maybe it's your diet, maybe it's your health, maybe it's your faith, your religion, whatever it is. What are those next 5 moves you can do to accomplish some of those things? There's also what he talked a lot about was like bottlenecks, things that aren't allowing you to move on, to There's like bottlenecks in life. There's bottlenecks in business. This could be, one of our bottlenecks could be money, of course, right? Money is always a bottleneck for a lot of people. It doesn't allow you to get further in life, or maybe we can't expand our business as fast as we want because money is an issue. So it's just that one little thing that's kind of in our way that's not allowing us to maybe explode, grow rapidly, right? So find those bottlenecks in your life, those things that are holding you back. This could be your group of friends. This could be bad influences. This could be your spouse, your partner, somebody, again, who's holding you back, who's telling you can never do what you want to do. Those aren't realistic goals. I've heard that one several times, right? Think realistically. Shutting you down. You can't do that. These people that are giving you that mentality, those things, those sayings, those could be a bottleneck in your life. Your vehicle could be a bottleneck in your life. You might have to figure out, how do I get that newer car so mine stops breaking down? How do I get that car that has better fuel mileage so I can save more money? Maybe your personal health is depleting, and you have to figure out how to become better health to then proceed to the future that you want to have, or the kids or your life or whatever. So think about it. Do some self-reflecting, whether it's business or personal, and find those bottlenecks. Find those areas in your life. Maybe you're calling your a family member once a week and they're just giving you negativity all the time. Maybe you start calling them once a month, and maybe your mental health will improve, or whatever it is, right? So I don't know what you're going through, but think of those bottlenecks in life and those things that you can eliminate. Sometimes bottlenecks in business can also be referred to, there's like this 80-20 rule. 20% of my time is probably spent on the 80% of most important things, and 80% of my time is it's more of like a income thing, or like a revenue thing, right? So 20% of our customers might be our best customers, for example, and 80% of our customers might not be. So where are you focusing your time? And so always upgrading your that 20% and giving that 80% off is kind of like an idea too. So what is that 80% in your life? And I'm sorry, I'm referencing this from a book, but what is that 80% in your life that you necessarily don't need to worry about, and you can focus on your next 20%? That stuff that's really valuable that you're not giving enough time, basically, right? So again, we might, for Priority Fitness's sake, we might be spending 80% of our time on the easy to use customers, but 20% of our time is spent on our customers that pay us the most money, that bring us the most revenue. And so maybe we need to hand off that 80%, reduce that 80%, cut off some of that 80%, or maybe we just need to really focus on that 20% and make that a larger point, because we might be able to work less and make more, right? So that's kind of my 20-80 rule, thought. So think those bottlenecks, figure out, what's going on in your life and how you can improve there. He also talks a lot about vision boards. You should have vision boards. You should have, he says every year, right after Christmas, before New Year's, they grab a bunch of magazines from the store, his entire family, they sit down, and they cut out stuff from magazines, and they do a legit like high school, middle school, elementary school project, probably more of an elementary school project, and they glue the things that they really like, the things that they want to see and do. And his story was super cool. He the Christmas before, he cut out this one watch that he's always wanted, or printed off or whatever, and then totally forgot about his vision board. 7-8 months go by, like basically right before this conference, like a couple weeks ago, he ends up getting the watch. And his son goes up to him, he goes, "Dad, that's the one on your vision board." And his dad, Pat Bet David totally forgot about it. And sure enough, it was the exact watch that he had, put down on his vision board. That was a goal of his, and he achieved it. So again, forward thinking. And this kind of leads right into my next one, your future truth. That's a really good one. I will go to that page real quick and read you guys this as well. So your definition of future truth: to live in the present as if your future truth has already become a reality. You must act like a great company You must act like a great company or a great entrepreneur long before you ever become one. A current lie to others is a future truth to you. The very essence of a visionary is somebody who is not living in the here and now. To live your future truth is to be a liar in the present moment. So then what he says, let me see here. People want to follow someone who is driven by his or her future truth. It's the reason we're enamored with visionaries. As long as the person saying it has 100% conviction, he or she will get others fired up. So seeing your future, seeing your vision, you can make those things come true. Remember, you can have anything, but you can't have everything. You need to know what you want in life, and you can achieve that. You can get the things that you want. Again, you can't have everything, but you can have anything. So think about what you want, write some stuff down, think about the family, think about the house, the car. It doesn't have to be physical things. Maybe it's your personal health. Maybe it's your diet. Maybe you want to have maybe you want to have a chef someday, a personal chef. I don't know. Get as crazy as you want. But if you don't know what you want, you're not working for anything. You're just working at that point. You're just trading your time for money. And you're probably spending money without really thinking about, is this something that helps me towards my future goal or my future truth, or no? So those kind of went hand in hand. And then the last thing I'll say is he gave some really good recommendations in here. The first one he gave was, I think it was Principles by Ray Dalio. Of course, I had that book. I have not read it yet. So as soon as I got home, that was the first book in here. I am now reading it. It's like a 530-page book. And I don't know if it's for everyone. I'll give you guys an update after I read it. But there was 4 book recommendations throughout here. As we dive through this, and I give you guys some more fun little things that you guys can take home, I will give you guys those book recommendations as well. But think about the future. Think about what inspires you, what excites you, what drives you, what you want to become someday. And you guys got to get that on a piece of paper. Write it down. Staple it in your office, staple it in your room. You need to see that stuff too. So don't set it and forget it. Make sure that you've got it in front of you. So my personal home screen on my phone is a vision board. It's got 8 or 10 or 12 things that I want in my life. And, it's okay to always reshape those things. It's okay to go back and, this has changed a little bit or whatever. But, think about it. I would like to say this is some of your homework. You should be doing this. I want to hear from you guys when you do accomplish some of these things, AKA I made my vision board. I want you to look at it, Colton. I want to hear that, I want to see that stuff and I want to be a part of that with you guys. So I will leave it off here. I've got to get going. I've got a meeting here shortly, and I hope you guys enjoy this episode. For future, you guys need to tune into the next episode as well. So this Saturday, I'm recording this on Wednesday. It releases tomorrow, Thursday the 18th. This Saturday, I'm doing an episode with Holden Smith. We had him on at the end of August, I believe. He had some goals set in place from his last episode. So if you haven't listened to the first interview with Holden, go back and listen to that episode. I thought it was really good. And we're going to create he's creating a very inspiring story for a lot of people out there. So we're going to have him back on Saturday, and then that'll get released next Tuesday. We're going to have all of his updates. His new weight goal, his current weight, his new weight goal, his fitness goals, what's been working for him, things that he's cut out of his life. I want you guys to hear all of that so you guys can see he can do it, you can do it. I want you sharing those episodes with other people who need to hear the same message. So please share these episodes when you find value in them. That's all I ask. I ask that if there's an episode that you think speaks to one of your friends or family members or people that you really think would get value from it, share it. I know not every episode is good for everybody. There's going to be things I talk about that might not pertain to you as much, but I try to bounce around. I try to kind of hit all these topics. I do want to talk more about nutrition. I want to talk more about diet. I want to give you guys some more tips there too. So that will be something we hop on a little bit more as well. So appreciate you guys. And the last thing I'll say too, this is going to drop Thursday, tomorrow. Tomorrow is my first podcast that I'm hopping on with an individual by the name of Michelle Zellner. I will give you guys updates once that is released and where it's released, so you guys can go check out our episode together over there. She's got a great thing going. It's going to be like a virtual collaboration, so she's out in Denver. She comes back here and works out at our Watoma facility every now and then. Of course, I haven't gotten to meet her in person yet because I'm on the road. She's on the road. It just hasn't lined up, but I'm super excited for that. It'll be my first episode on somebody else's podcast. Well, I guess I did do Scott's. So this will be my first virtual episode, my second, collaboration that we've done. Scott's episode has not released as well that I was on his. So still kind of my first, second, whatever. So appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.